plate shatters. A woman flinches. A little girl cries in the corner of a dimly lit apartment, knees tucked into her chest, her teddy bear missing one eye. The rain taps against broken blinds like fingers searching for a way in. A single bulb flickers overhead, casting long shadows over peeling walls and damp floorboards. A clock ticks, loud, then louder, then unbearable. Bang, bang, bang. The landlord's fist slams against the door. Rent! Now! His voice slithers through the cracks in the wood. The woman presses her back against the door, holding her breath, like it might keep the world from collapsing. Her nightgown clings to her, wet from the leaking ceiling. She clutches the last envelope she couldn't bring herself to open. Her lips barely move. Please, not tonight. Her daughter sobs quietly behind the couch. She doesn't call out for her mother. She's learned not to. The room is thick with silence. The kind that doesn't comfort but punishes. A silence too full of memory, of meals skipped, of slaps dodged, of screams muffled into pillows. There are no names, no exposition, only the wound, the first one, the kind you pretend wasn't a wound at all, just survival, passed from mother to daughter, like a family heirloom nobody wants to claim. We meet Maya, early 30s, hair tied back, apron stained, sneakers worn to the sole. She moves like muscle memory, tray in hand, smile practiced, not the kind that reaches her eyes, the kind that keeps the peace. Coffee, hun? She pours, dodges a grope, forgets to flinch. A man laughs too loud and she flattens her voice like a rug over a crack in the floor. She works at a run-down diner on the edge of town, the kind of place that smells like burnt oil and broken promises. The sign outside flickers between open and nothing. She calls every customer sir or sweetheart. She pretends not to hear what they say under their breath. She's quick with the refills, quicker with the apologies. Lunch breaks are stolen minutes in the alley, where she chews on half a sandwich and watches the sky like it might give her something, anything. At home, Maya packs Layla's school bag with care. Second-hand notebooks, crayons down to stubs, shoes with soles flapping like loose tongues. She kneels and ties them anyway, presses a kiss to Layla's forehead. Warm, certain, a mother's kiss, even when nothing else is. Be brave, baby, Layla nods. She's learned what bravery means. Maya watches her daughter walk away, then exhales like she's been holding her breath since yesterday. Nights are coins scraped from the bottom of her purse. Rent, groceries, bus fare, the math of survival. She counts in whispers. Hope in one hand, reality in the other. The neighbours call her strong. Her co-workers call her the one who holds it together. But no one sees her in the freezer aisle, shaking fingers clutching a bag of peas. Card declined, eyes welling. She whispers, "It's fine." To no one, to herself. She leaves the bag on the shelf and walks out smiling, because crying in public is a luxury she can't afford. Maya, at 21, hair tied back with a red scarf, fingers ink-smudged from scribbling recipes in the margins of her textbooks. She walks into culinary school like it's a cathedral, eyes wide, heart open, a girl with a fire inside her, ready to turn hunger into art. She stands in a stainless steel kitchen, flour on her cheek, hands dancing over cutting boards and saucepans like a pianist. She dreams in spices and plating techniques. Her notebooks are filled with sketches of dishes she's never tasted, meals meant for guests she hasn't met yet. She calls her mother every night. "Ma, I made risotto today, from scratch." Her mother laughs through the cough. That's my girl. But dreams are expensive, and when her mother's health crumbles, Maya doesn't hesitate. She drops out, one signature, one goodbye, one promise. I'll come back. She trades knives for night shifts, chef's whites for diner aprons, recipes for prescriptions. Week by week she works, double shifts, then triple. She holds her mother's hand through chemo, sleeps on hospital chairs, pays bills, feeds hope, starves herself. When her mother passes, Maya doesn't cry. She returns to the same world, but something in her stays back, buried under 4 beeps and morphine drips. She becomes a mother soon after. Layla, her miracle and her chain. Maya promises herself, I'll do better than he did. Her father, ghosted at 10, just a voicemail and silence. She vowed she'd never abandon her child, and she hasn't. But promises to yourself are easier to break than the ones you make to others. Now her diploma sits in a plastic bag under her mattress, creased, forgotten, nearly moulding, a relic from another life. She cooks still, but not for joy, not for art. Only to feed, to stretch groceries, to keep Layla full even when she's empty. Sometimes, late at night, she opens the bag, touches the paper like it's sacred, then seals it shut again, because dreams don't pay the rent, and the stove isn't for magic anymore. It's just another battlefield. It starts on a Tuesday. A man appears outside the diner, slumped near the rusted bench beneath the flickering neon sign. He says nothing, holds no cup, no sign, just sits, hood pulled low, hands in his lap, unmoving. Maya notices him from behind the counter. At first she assumes he'll leave when the rain stops, but he's there the next night, and the next, always silent, always still, a statue in the periphery of her routine. The other waitresses mutter, he's creepy, probably high. Maya just watches. One night her manager tosses her sandwich in the trash. She fishes it out, wraps it carefully in napkins, and slips it into her coat. The rain comes down hard that evening. She hesitates at the door, then steps out. He's there, as always. She walks up slowly, stops just short, holds out the sandwich, cut in 2. He doesn't reach for it, not immediately. Then slowly, he lifts his head. Eyes meet hers. They're tired eyes, but not empty. He looks at her like he already knows her story. No words, no thank you, just a nod. Once. She sets the sandwich beside him, turns and walks into the night. The next evening he's gone. Bench empty. Rain drying on cold concrete. She tells herself it doesn't matter. It was just one sandwich. But the day after, an envelope appears at the diner. No name, no return address. Just cream-coloured paper tucked between the salt shakers and her order pad. Inside, a single quote, handwritten in careful cursive. And still, like dust, I'll rise. Maya Angelou, and a $20 bill folded twice. Maya stares at it for a long time. The quote was from a book she used to carry in her purse, back when she believed words could save her. She doesn't tell anyone, just slips the envelope into her apron and checks the bench every night after that. The bell above the diner door jingles as Maya balances 3 plates and a half-fake smile. Table 4 spills their coffee, blames her. The man raises his voice. Manager doesn't ask questions, just stares over his glasses. Clock out Maya, permanently. She doesn't argue, she just nods, wipes her hands on her apron like she's wiping off the last piece of dignity. Outside, the sky is grey, too tired to storm, too cruel to stay dry. She walks home in silence, takes the long way because she doesn't want to arrive. Inside the apartment, Layla is drawing on the floor with broken crayons. The walls seem to lean closer each day, listening for the sound of surrender. Mom, Maya turns. Will we still have lights tomorrow? The question slices her open in places she thought were already hollow. She smiles too quickly, kisses Layla's head. We'll be okay. The weight of that realization sinks deeper than the debt ever did. She takes the long route to the shelter. No makeup, No umbrella. Only her apron in hand, folded tight. The receptionist looks up, confused as Maya approaches. "I think this belongs here," she says, setting the apron gently on the counter. A gesture, a release. She doesn't stay for questions. Later, she finds Daniel's name carved onto a small wooden plaque on a wall of many, a memorial for the forgotten. She sits alone on the bench across from it, opens the warm print out of the poem he quoted. "You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise." The words feel different now, less like hope, more like apology, more like invitation. That night she opens her phone, the job search app, deleted, the pile of eviction notices, burned in a tin tray on the balcony, ash scattered like old shame. She doesn't cry, not yet, just watches the smoke rise into the stars. She stands there for a long time, arms wrapped around herself, then closes her eyes and whispers into the night, soft and certain, "Thank you." The sign above the door reads, "The Shared Table." Hand-painted letters, uneven, honest. The windows are small but clean. Inside it smells like rosemary and warm bread, like coming home. Maya stands behind the counter, hair tied up, apron clean, ladle in hand. Not the old apron, a new one, this one hers. The cafe is small, 10 tables, mismatched chairs, a chalkboard wall covered in doodles and handwritten quotes. Every 10th meal is free, no questions asked. A quiet promise taped beside the register. Everyone eats, always. She cooks again, not for tips, not for survival, but for stories, for people. Her lentil stew has become legend among the regulars. A woman with 2 kids calls it a hug in a bowl. A man who sleeps in his car washes dishes after every meal just to say thank you. And every morning, Layla draws on the chalkboard wall. A sun, a bowl of soup, a woman with a crown made of ladles. Beneath it, "My mum is magic." Maya reads it and smiles, this time with her whole face. One day, a local food critic stumbles in. Wearing a scarf too bright for the weather, he orders the stew, then sits in silence for 15 minutes. The next week, a tiny article appears in the paper. "Grace tastes like Maya's stew. Go for the food, stay for the quiet healing." She tapes the clipping to the fridge, not for vanity, but as proof of what can rise from ruin. And then there's Elias. He comes in for coffee, always says please. Sometimes he brings a book, sometimes he brings silence. He talks like someone who's lost something too, and knows not to touch a wound, just to see if it's healed. He never rushes her, never asks for more than she offers. Maya isn't in love, but she's not afraid of it anymore. And in this season of slow mending and second chances, that's more than enough. The bell above the cafe door jingles, sharp, familiar. Maya looks up from the soup pot. Her old boss stands there, same jacket, same smirk. The kind of man who never apologizes, only rephrases. "Place looks nice," he says, eyeing the handwritten menu. "You've done well." She wipes her hands, nods politely, waits. "I've been thinking," he begins, leaning on the counter, like he still owns it. "Partnership. You and me. You've got a good heart for business. People trust you." She studies him, his polished shoes, his careful words, the way he never once said thank you. "No," she says softly. "No edge, no apology." He blinks. "You sure?" Could be bigger than this. She smiles, kindly, but it's the kind of smile that closes a door, not opens one. He shifts, uncertain, then asks almost casually, "You ever regret giving that sandwich away?" She doesn't pause. "That meal cost me everything," she says. Her voice is calm, steady, "and it gave me back more than I ever lost." He doesn't understand. He nods like he does, but the crease between his brows stays. She watches him walk out, shoulders stiffer than when he came in. Outside, the wind picks up. Layla's chalk drawing dances slightly in the breeze from the open door. Maya turns back to her stove, back to her people, back to herself, and without even meaning to. She stands a little taller. Maya leans over the counter, pen in hand. Her handwriting flows carefully across the worn recipe card. Lentil stew, Daniel's favourite. She underlines the title, adds a small heart in the corner, then slides it into a simple wooden frame. She hangs it on the cafe wall, between Layla's crayon drawings and the food critic's faded article. A small altar to memory, to kindness, to things that don't vanish when people do. The cafe hums with soft noise, spoons clinking, low chatter, the hiss of something simmering. Layla twirls barefoot on the checkered floor, her laughter light and bright, echoing off the walls like music. The storm outside is gentle this time, no thunder, just a steady patter, like the sky remembering how to cry without breaking anything. Maya stands near the window, a chipped ceramic mug warming her hands. She watches the street, watches the rain bead on the glass, watches people run by with umbrellas and hurried smiles. She doesn't feel rushed anymore. The stew pot bubbles behind her. The cafe smells like rosemary and roasted garlic, but inside her it smells like peace. She closes her eyes for a moment, not to forget, but to feel it all, the ache, the giving, the return, a breath, a pause, a purpose, and as the camera pulls back, through the rain-streaked window past the soft glow of the cafe lights, Maya stands still, smiling at the storm. A voice, her voice, gentle and certain. Sometimes what you give away is what comes back to save you.